Welcome to the Dead Sea Scrolls series. I am Uncle Ivan. Today we are going to take you back to the winter of 1947, when an ordinary Bedouin shepherd boy accidentally threw a stone and revealed one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. This discovery not only rewrote the history of biblical research, but also gave us a new understanding of the Jewish world 2,000 years ago. In the winter of 1946 to 1947, in the Qumran region on the northwest shore of the Dead Sea, 3 Bedouin shepherds were tending their sheep: Muhammad Dihib, his cousin Juma Muhammad, and Khalil Musa. On this seemingly ordinary day, history was about to be rewritten. When Muhammad heard the sound of pottery breaking in the cave, he could never have imagined that the stone he threw into the cave would reveal one of the most important document discoveries in human history. The cave contained 7 ancient scrolls preserved in pottery jars, including the famous Great Isaiah Scroll. These ancient scrolls soon fell into the hands of antique dealers, and then in 1948 they were passed to John Trevor of the American School of Oriental Research. When Trevor compared the fonts of these scrolls with the Nash Papyrus, he realized that the antiquity of these documents was shocking. William Albright's confirmation in April 1948 was even more earth-shattering. The scrolls dated between 200 BC and 200 AD. This news caused an unprecedented sensation in the academic community. From 1951 to 1956, systematic excavations led by Roland DeVoe and Gerard Lancaster Harding were carried out. They found nearly 1,000 manuscripts in a total of 11 caves, with Cave 4 being the richest, with about 15,000 fragments representing 400 different manuscripts. The last cave to be discovered, Cave 11, brought us the 26.7-foot-long temple scroll, the longest complete scroll of all the discoveries. Scholar Eliezer Sukonik wrote in his diary, "As I began to unroll one of the scrolls, my hands trembled. I suddenly felt that fate had given me the privilege of gazing upon a Hebrew scroll that had not been read for more than 2,000 years. The revolutionary impact of these scrolls was that they pushed the evidence for biblical manuscripts back by about 1,000 years. Before this, the oldest complete Hebrew Bible manuscripts dated only to around 920–1000 AD. This enormous time span provides scholars with unprecedented access to direct biblical texts from the period during which the Hebrew Bible was being finalized. Archaeological evidence suggests that the site of Qumran was primarily occupied during the Greco-Roman period, specifically from 150 BC to 68 AD. Excavations have revealed a complex of buildings that included public facilities, a sophisticated water management system, a possible scripture room or library, and a large cemetery. These material remains strongly suggest that a highly organized settled community once existed here. The dominant scholarly view is that the inhabitants of Qumran were the Essenes, a Jewish religious sect known for their asceticism and detachment from mainstream society. This community, who referred to themselves internally as Yad, meaning union or community, cultivated a strictly separatist lifestyle in the wilderness of Judah. Their theological framework was markedly dualistic, viewing the world as divided between the powers of light and darkness, good and evil. They believed that Israel was under divine judgment and considered themselves to be the true remnant of Israel, awaiting imminent vindication at the end of the world. Their distinctive practices included a strict observance of ritual purity and a clear rejection of Jerusalem temple worship. This separation is understood to have been triggered by deep disputes with Jerusalem's priestly leadership over the interpretation of the sacred calendar and law. Archaeological evidence of sophisticated water systems and communal facilities suggests a high degree of organization, communal life, and monastic-like structures. This material culture provided the necessary infrastructure for a separatist, ritualistic community, strengthening the Essenes hypothesis by demonstrating their ability to sustain habitation in an arid region and adhere to strict purity laws. About 40% of the Dead Sea Scrolls are direct copies of texts that later became the Hebrew Bible. This collection includes fragments or complete copies of every book of the Old Testament, except the Book of Esther. Among the most important finds are complete copies of Deuteronomy, Isaiah, and Psalms. These manuscripts are extremely important because they represent the oldest known extant copies of biblical texts, predating the previous earliest complete Hebrew Bible, the 10th century Masoretic text, by about 1,000 years. About 10% of the scrolls are made up of texts that are not included in the canon of the Hebrew Bible but are found in other ancient collections, such as the Septuagint or later Christian Bibles. Examples include the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, the Book of Tobiah, and the Book of Sirach. The frequent presence of books such as the Book of Jubilees and the Book of Enoch in the Qumran finds suggests that these texts were highly valued and considered sacred by the communities that held the scrolls. The largest category, containing about 50% of the collection, is made up of unique texts that were specific to the Qumran community and not found elsewhere. These writings offer an unparalleled direct window into the beliefs, laws, and internal organization of the Combine. Notable examples include the Rules of the Community, also known as the Book of Discipline, which outlines the group's dualistic doctrines, constitution, and regulations, the War Scrolls, which detail the eschatological conflict between the sons of light and the sons of darkness, and the Damascene documents. Prior to the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the oldest complete Hebrew biblical text available to scholars was the Masoretic text, which dates to the 10th century AD. The Dead Sea Scrolls dramatically changed this landscape, providing biblical manuscripts dating back to the 3rd century BC. Particularly astounding is the textual consistency between these ancient biblical manuscripts and later versions. For example, the 2,200-year-old Great Isaiah Scroll found at Qumran is virtually identical to the medieval Masoretic text, exhibiting over 95% word-for-word consistency. This extraordinary consistency across millennia provides compelling evidence for the fidelity of scripture preservation, effectively quelling long-standing scholarly debates and skeptical theories that have questioned the Bible's accuracy over centuries of transmission. The Dead Sea Scrolls provide an unparalleled window into what has been described as a turbulent and pivotal period in Jewish history. They provide irrefutable proof that Second Temple Judaism was not a single entity, but a dynamic and complex landscape that encompassed numerous religious sects and political parties. The Qumran documents specifically reflected Judaism in transition, illustrating the movement from the religion of Israel as described in the Hebrew Bible to the later Rabbinic Judaism codified in the Mishnah. Today we explored the amazing story of the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, from an accidental discovery by a shepherd boy to a breakthrough that changed the entire field of biblical studies. These 2,000-year-old documents not only confirm the reliability of the biblical text, but also reveal a rich and colorful veil to the ancient Jewish world. In the next episode, we will delve into the specific contents of these scrolls, understand the unique beliefs and lifestyle of the Qumran community, and how they provide valuable insights into our understanding of the Jewish background of early Christianity. Don't forget to like and subscribe, turn on the little bell, and let us continue this fascinating journey of exploring ancient civilizations together.